I'm David Persson. My wife Chris and I own the School Box. We've been in business for about 26 years, headquartered and founded right here in Cobb County. My wife was a teacher right here in Cobb County. She taught for about 8 years before we started having kids. And we were newly married when she started teaching, and she used to drag me around with her to shop for supplies for her classroom. And about $1,500 into building her first grade classroom, I jokingly said, when are they going to pay you back for those supplies? And she said, they're not. I have to buy all these supplies. I thought, man, what an interesting business that would be if done right. And so about 2 years later, we worked real hard on it and opened our first store in East Cobb, and been doing it ever since. I knew nothing about them. I'm very involved in the Cobb Chamber here. I'm involved in the Leadership Cobb program in Cobb, and know a lot about many of the organizations that are here. And I hadn't heard of that one until about a year ago. A good friend of mine, Marlon Longacre, and Tammy Everhard, who were contestants in last year's event and won. I got to see them perform and practice and then ultimately win. And so I learned a little bit more about the organization while watching them go through their events last year. And then Marlon actually tapped me on the shoulder earlier this year and said, hey, you should think about doing that. And I said, that would be a lot of fun. And about 2 minutes later, they were emailing me going, hey, would you be interested in participating? And I said, yes, I think that would be a lot of fun. Primary focus is to help those folks that come to them with needs while they're going through treatment for cancer. It might be a utility bill they can't pay, or transportation they need back and forth to their chemotherapy treatments and so forth, and different unforeseen expenses that might come along because they aren't working as much as they were because they're having to deal with their treatment. So I think I applaud them for their main focus. They also have some training and education classes, a lot of family support for those going through cancer treatment and their family. A lot of times folks, they've never been through this before. They really don't know what to expect. And I think the folks, at Loving Arms have that background, they have that experience, and they can really kind of hold their hand and guide them through it. I think for those who need it at the moment, the help with expenses would probably be the #1 priority. I think on maybe a deeper level, just the support. I have many people in my life that have been through, some type of cancer, be it themselves or their family, and I think family support is huge, and if you're going through that and you don't have that type of support or you don't know what to expect, I think to have the experience and the guidance of folks at Loving Arms to help you through that and tell you it's going to be all right, and tell you ahead of time, the types of things that they should expect, and how things are going to progress. I think that's invaluable. I think the older I get, I was thinking about that the other day. I don't know if it's the older I get or the more people that I know through business in the community that I'm involved in, but we have so many folks close to us that have been affected by it. Some have survived and some have not, and it's been very tough. One of my classmates in my Leadership Cobb class from 2 years ago, young child, lost her husband to cancer, and it was devastating for her. It was devastating for all of us who know her and love her. And several folks in our industry, we have dealt with sales reps that call on us. I have one right now who's probably our favorite sales rep. We've had her for years, and she is going through a very aggressive brain cancer, and she's one of the most positive people I know. In the middle of going through that treatment, she's the one posting and going, "This is going to be great," and I'm going out to play golf, and I'm doing this and that, and then the next day she's in for these radical treatments, and our heart breaks for her, and all we can do is pray for her and be supportive, and continue to hope that her treatments go well. But it's just I don't think there's a day go by anymore that I don't hear about somebody battling some form of cancer, be it some major brain cancer or breast cancer or even skin cancer. Today we had an employee of ours whose husband had a simple dermatology visit, and they said that doesn't look really good, and 3 months later he had passed away, and it was something you would have she looked at his back one day and said, that doesn't look really good. And 3 months later, he was gone. So you really can't take those things for granted. I didn't know that much about it until Marlon and Tammy got involved last year, and I saw how hard they worked. I saw how hard everyone else worked. And I also saw how that benefited, that event and their participation, raised awareness. It obviously raised needed funds that the organization needs to continue to thrive and grow. And when Marlon asked me if I'd be interested in participating, I thought, it would be fun to participate and be a part of the show, but I also know a lot of folks in Cobb County, and I'm connected like Marlon is, and if my connections can help raise more awareness and raise more funds for them, then I'd be happy to be a part of it. They can go on the website, the Loving Arms website. I'm going to have things posted constantly on Facebook. My partner Holly is great, and she's going to have things on her website as well, or her Facebook as well. And they can vote for us. They can donate in our name. They can buy tickets or tables to the event that will benefit us as well. And they can spread the word to those folks that they know, the businesses that they either work for that match funds or are focused on contributing to the organizations that we have in our community. The more we can do the next 2 months, or in the next month, I guess at this point, to spread that word, the more successful the whole event will be. And obviously, we would like to win, so we want to raise more than anybody else, and Holly and I are going to knock them out on the dance floor.